That shot there gives me serious Neil Breen vibes.
It's a little funky.
What? This is not real. This is wild. This is actually wild.
This is your closing bell.
Time, stop!
Megalopolis is maybe one of the most baffling big budget movies ever. It's like a cinematic fever dream. I watched it and I'm still confused. This movie cost $150 million to make, and as of today, it has made approximately $14 million back.
No!
I've heard about this movie, but I've not seen it. Niko, have you seen this movie?
No, but it sounds like a movie I'd actually really enjoy.
I really think you will. Megalopolis was the sole vision of director Francis Ford Coppola, who brought us such classics as The Godfather. He did Apocalypse Now as well. And he also did Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Oh, he did Dracula?
Francis Ford Coppola, he wanted to make this movie for a very long time. He wanted creative control over this baby. And he had it. And you can tell he had it, right?
And he also fired his effects team.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it's true. He fired the entire visual effects department. Fun fact, he also fired the entire visual effects team on Dracula.
Yep. Yeah, so this is the second time on Megalopolis.
It's a thing. It's a trend.
When the entire VFX department was fired, Francis Ford Coppola ended up hiring his nephew.
Nicolas Cage?
How did you burn?
Jesse James Chisholm, I think it is. Which just on paper is really funny with all the nephew VFX jokes that we've made on this couch over the years.
They should have hired real nephews to do the effects.
That said, it's not as funny in real life because he is a very established VFX supervisor for Marvel, but just on paper, it's hilarious to me. Francis Ford Coppola has never had a movie this reliant on visual effects before.
Really?
Yeah, so this was, I don't want to say out of his field of knowledge. I don't know how much he knows about visual effects in particular, but the fact that he's firing an entire visual effects team is a little curious in that regard. And the idea behind the visual effects on this movie in particular is what they're deeming poetic realism.
Okay.
Right? The idea being the images lean more towards the graphic than they do the photoreal. But that also affords you the ability to kind of just say, oh no, I meant it to look like that. It's like, it really is kind of a shield. But the visual effects in this movie are not bad. Like, there's some questionable visual effects that we'll see coming up here.
Okay,
But there's also a lot of really good, cool, thoughtful stuff. This is one of the coolest visual effects scenes in the movie.
Okay.
This is all hyper stylized.
Oh.
Okay, this is cool.
Ooh.
Oh, this is
That is
super cool.
interesting.
Sick.
Wow, is that a puppet? Or is it CG? Those must be actors and actresses wearing that stuff. Bravo.
Yeah.
You did it.
But I think we can kind of infer as to what they're doing, right? It's like actors in, these hard plastic prosthetics who are performing, and all of the footage, of course, is filmed in slow motion to give them a sense of scale as they fall or move.
I'll bet they have some sort of latex suit. Their hands are probably painted. And I bet you that everything from here to the chin up is all basically a mask to get the actual sculpted, statuesque features.
And the car we saw drive by was a miniature car?
This is all in camera.
Yeah, that's
100%
all in camera, miniature set, probably on a volume too.
Yeah, this is all real. I don't think it's composite. This is all in camera.
This is the type of poetic realism that I can get behind. I'm like, okay, that's interesting, that's surreal.
This is Caesar, the guy in the black suit. Caesar like Rome, kinda.
Oh, okay.
Just in case you didn't catch it.
He makes pizza.
He makes pizza, exactly.
That's Big Caesar.
So this is Caesar. He is a visionary artist who understands what humanity needs to evolve. He's that guy.
And you think 1 year of medical school entitles you to plow through the riches of my Emersonian mind?
Entitles me?
Yes.
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 Entitles me?
Yeah.
Right? He sees the future.
He's him.
He's him, dude.
So go back to the club.
Time! Stop! Citizens of New Rome, I had a dream of an all-in-one platform that would allow visionaries to build their online presence. A new type of space, a Squarespace, who are today's sponsors. With Squarespace, art and technology merge as one. Their new design intelligence uses AI to create stunning, personalized websites at the speed of thought. But what is art without commerce? The lifeblood of civilization. Online stores allow you to showcase your creations, customize listings, and even print shipping labels. And with Squarespace payments, you can effortlessly manage your transactions. Apple Pay, Klarna, Afterpay. It's time to build great wonders and even greater websites. Journey to squarespace.com for a free trial and use the code CorridorCrew to save 10% off your first purchase. You're welcome. Time begin or start or time restart. Time continue. Yeah.
Wait, what? Hold up. What is, okay.
It's a little funky.
There's a disconnect happening here. For me, it's the leading lines. I usually assume that an elevator is going to be more or less parallel to the wall that it's on. The leading lines of the street do not match up with the lines of the elevator. And that's kind of immediately throwing it off, like, oh, the elevator's like crooked from the wall.
So it's interesting to point out that this scene, like many others in the film, is making use of a stage that is surrounded by giant LED panels called the volume. The backgrounds here that we're seeing are basically all captured in camera, straight from Unreal Engine. A scene was basically built and designed for this specific coverage. Maybe it's also tethered to the camera in 3D space, and animation is going on in the background, and the scene is evolving as we see it. And it becomes really obvious that they're using this volume when the characters get up to the top of this building. One of the giveaways for the volume is obviously theater in the round, so to speak.
Wait,
you know what I mean? That's what we'll call it.
Yeah, it's we're in a space, and there's a wall of picture around us, and neither of the two of us will ever meet.
Yes.
So you're certain this whole thing is the volume right here, because we're looking downwards. Normally the volume is a wall, and that does not include the floor. With this sort of perspective looking down, we would have to see some sort of floor.
Well, that's the fun thing about this particular setup. For the sake of performance of the actors, they actually suspended all of these stages up about 20 feet off the ground.
Wow.
And that was, and they put down a net below them to increase the anxiety of being up that high, so to speak.
Amazing.
They put a safety net out to increase the anxiety.
They weren't on wires, right?
They weren't on wires.
And she's wearing, look at the heels she's wearing, dude.
Imagine landing on a net in high heels.
Wow.
How does that work?
That's both really cool and probably not necessary.
Volumes are very interesting. Like, they're being used more and more since obviously The Mandalorian blew them up. But they definitely have limitations as well. Because in Unreal Engine, there's only so far you can push it. It's designed to be real time, and therefore lots of shortcuts are taken in order to optimize the scene to make that possible. That often doesn't lead to the best final image, especially when we're talking about film quality stuff. With this shot in particular, you can see that some of the light values don't match between the foreground and the background.
What's the brightest spot in this entire frame?
Adam Driver's
The
face.
edges of their faces, right there.
You're right, and they shouldn't be brighter than the sky.
Yeah, you're so right. Yeah, the bounce light from the sky is brighter than the source light in the sky.
Yeah, and it's because they have the real light off screen, and that's brighter than the screen. But whatever, poetic realism, you know?
You know, poetic.
I mean,
how many
that's
times can we
movies.
say that though? Yeah, but you know, poetic realism, so that's fine. The idea was to shoot all of this on volume. But as the budget and timeline kind of ballooned and entire departments were wiped out, they had to kind of pivot and change the goalposts a little bit.
Because what's the biggest thing you got to do with working with volumes? You have to prepare your assets in advance.
Yes, that's
Which
very
means
fair.
you have to have a clear vision of what you want it to be before you ever start shooting.
Yeah.
And when you're shooting on a green screen, the nature of figuring it out later means you can just figure it out later, which isn't a great thing, but it allows you to do it.
Yeah, so that's the thing is they pivoted to going traditional green screen for some of this stuff as well, and you can definitely see the difference.
So we get to this shot, it's still poetically kind of weird. It feels like a cool video game render, you know? But the perspective's a little wonky. And I think the main thing that's happening is she's being filmed with one focal length, like a kind of wide angle lens. Then the background left element is being rendered at a slightly different focal length, and the background right is at a completely different perspective. It's like we're looking at that tree like side on, as opposed to like top down through a 14mm lens. So the background feels detached from all that. The thing that breaks the poetic realism for me is the rain. The rain looks like default settings. And that doesn't feel like an artistic decision.
And then of course you have this, where you're being lit with a direct light source and you need something to cast shadow over it.
Yeah, and all they do is just darken her layer.
And all
but,
they do
like,
is darken her layer that is
Yeah.
still being lit directly.
That last shot there is the only one that gives me serious Neil Breen vibes.
Yeah, I can see that.
Follow me. They can't hurt me. You won't get hurt.
There's all these different eras of green screen. And the eras of like early 2000s music videos green screen with hyper contrast and saturation that looks exactly like this is my favorite era. This is like a Linkin Park music video from 2003.
I know the music
Oh,
video. Is that replaced
that's
though?
a very digital crowd.
And then this is the...
But if it's online, that can...
Whoa! Whoa! Oh my God. Oh, this got very David Lynch all of a sudden. Woo!
It just slaps you when it pops up.
I mean, this is like,
Anyone want to drop poetic realism right now?
you know what? Poetry's still got to rhyme, you know?
Dang it, man.
It's like rhyming orange with door hinge. It's like, I don't know about that one.
Especially because they're clowns that are already doing goofy things when they cut to. Was that intentional? Was he intentionally making the VFX goofy to match the humor of clowns?
Yeah, dude, that's poetic
Are
realism,
we
man.
being clowned upon right now?
Whoa!
That does not look like an in-camera background to me.
No, of course not.
That looks like a replaced background.
100%.
That's not a volume stage.
The VFX aren't bad. There's no lighting. There's no cinematography. Like there's nothing. This is just assets comped together. But you know, whoever rotoed it / green screened it, good job. You knew it going into it. At least it's on the show now, right? I think the whole point of the clown scene was it's just Francis trying to tell people to subscribe to Corridor.
Oh, you're right.
Whoa!
I mean, it's pretty cool that they're doing this clone effect while moving the camera. This has got to be some motion control stuff. It's probably literally just a robot arm doing the same camera move, and they're moving where she's hanging from to a different spot and doing the same camera move again, and they're comping that together.
So she is a virgin. That is
Is
relevant.
that
I'm not just
important
telling you that.
information?
Yeah,
Okay.
because everyone in the Colosseum is celebrating her purity, and I think they're bidding on it. What? I think they're bidding to keep it. I don't know, to be honest. They got QR codes and stuff.
It literally is QR codes,
It's literally paddles with QR codes. It's New Rome, dude. We do things different.
Do they have cell phones in this world?
They have to!
I
There's
think
QR codes!
Yes, they literally have to. They literally have to. So while all this is going down in the Colosseum, our boy Caesar's busy getting crunk backstage.
We prove we are free.
Oh, interesting.
He's just moving backwards though. So it's a reversed shot.
Is he upside down or is he laying down on his back?
I think he's mounted on his side.
I know what they're doing. It's a spinning room.
Wait, but it doesn't look like anything's shifting weight-wise on him, though.
I bet it's static. I bet the room's not rotating. But here's the thing, though. Some of the glass shards are on the wall. Some of the glass shards are on the actual ground. What if it's not fully sideways? What if it's kind of a diagonal?
Then I feel like some of that glass would slide.
Guys, it's a spinning room.
Why?
I don't mean that the room orbits on an axis. I mean it's like on like a merry-go-round.
So it's spinning 11 Gs.
Yeah,
Just
no,
rotating.
but he's getting pulled to the side because things are getting pulled outwards from the rotation. He's on like a carnival ride.
Oh my God, Niko, I think you might be right.
Yeah, gravity's down and to the side.
It does feel like something that Mr. Coppola would do.
That would explain the Coriolis effect.
Yeah.
The way the glass leaves his hand.
Yeah, he doesn't throw it up. Like it kind of like flicks it out because it gets pulled out of his hand effectively by the centrifugal force.
If gravity was perfectly sideways, it would just continue on in that arc.
Yeah.
So there's something pulling it down.
I think the room's spinning.
This is wild. This is actually wild.
There's no way it would just be a shot of Adam Driver sideways. Francis has done that. That's baby level stuff.
Like,
He's like, spin the room.
It's like, I made the Godfather, all right?
So, as we've established, Caesar is a tortured genius trying to usher in a utopia. And the way that this city is going to be taken into the future is with a new metal, I think it is, or something. It's called Megalon. I'm pretty sure I'm right.
This is getting a little chat GPT now.
You know, Caesar, he's a famous person around Megalopolis. So this little boy comes up for an autograph on a book, sweetheart, and he's gonna take time to sign that book.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Whoa! The kid just assassinated Caesar.
dude, is his name Luigi's Mansion?
So now they're gonna use Megalon, the construction material, in order to heal a bullet wound to the head.
Megalon will activate some of the
There he is.
Wait!
No.
Wait!
This has to be dream mode. This has to be dream mode.
This is
still.
not real!
It has to be
This
dream.
is not real!
His teeth are on his lips.
His teeth. For now, Niko, but that's before the surgery, okay? This light going over indicating Megalon's healing.
This has to be poetic realism here. This can't. They're not trying to show us what his face actually looks like right now. They're showing us what happens inside.
So now they're gonna stop using the Megalon for some reason, and I assume just kind of let him heal normally.
He's like, we got you 90% of the way there with the light thing, but you gotta
Let's let
finish.
time do the rest. We got the bone, we got the muscle, the skin, but
It's like in Elysium when they healed the guy's face. It's like, it's like stop.
right.
That's good. Ah! Wake him up. Ah! What? Keep going. No. Oh, he's channeling his Nick Cage.
Caesar.
I don't know. I don't have anything to say about this.
No,
just
I know.
happened?
There's like,
What just happened?
This is crazy.
That's what I'm saying. You're in the movie, you're watching it, and you're going, wait, what? Hold on. And while you're processing one thing, he's already moved on. He's about to hit you again with something even wilder. This scene might be the greatest scene in cinematic history.
We came to pay our respects, Grandpa.
What do you think of this boner I got? I would have been able to outspend you, but I will outlive you. Wow.
What is this bow and arrow?
Oh my god! You got another one?
Amazing.
Amazing. And out of nowhere. What do you think of this boner I got?
And he pulls out a Nerf bow and arrow.
Bow and arrow.
Kills Aubrey Plaza. Just right in the heart. Just boom! He like Hanzo's her. I love that he whips the blanket aside and it shows it, and they do the tiniest of lens flares and like a little ding on a triangle.
It's poetic realism. Now we land on Caesar's final speech to inspire the building of this city.
Wait! It's the same shot, but they flipped it.
Just played again and flipped. It's the exact same people doing the exact
Bold.
same thing.
That is the boldest
That is
decision.
bold.
It's literally the same shot, but just horizontally flipped.
It's like this is simultaneously the biggest and smallest budget movie I've ever seen.
Yes. This entire view of the city, these are all Unreal renders, which doesn't look bad, but it also doesn't hold up to the same standard. So now it feels arch-busy, and I don't know why, because I'm pretty darn sure we're supposed to be seeing the real Megalopolis here, not like an idea of it at this point.
Why are they sliding in the grass?
Because they're sliding apart.
You knew this. You knew this was gonna happen,
don't
and you
know
were
what-
waiting for me to notice, and it was the first thing I noticed. They're stepping, and they're just like, weep.
It isn't time.
They're doing their celebratory, like, we did it, we saved the city. Mayor Cicero's on board now. They had a baby,
We're going to have a baby.
What?
who I guess is like, you know, represents something.
He'll be named Francis.
Build a future for her.
What? Oh my goodness.
Wait a minute. That has to be a comp.
It's gotta be a comp.
Because the baby's
Why,
actually
though?
just on the glass floor.
Why comp in a carpet?
It's poetic realism. And that's all, folks. I don't know. I don't know anything. I may have lied.
Oh yeah?
This isn't the end of the movie. There is one more thing, and it might be the most important thing of all.
I pledge allegiance
to our human family,
to our human family
and to all the species that we protect,
and to all the species that we protect,
one earth, indivisible,
with long life, education, and justice for all.
Yeah, and that's how it ends.
Can I tell you guys a story?
Yes.
So I had an intro to drawing class my first year in college. And one of the students would constantly just write things on the poster. They'd be going for a message, they just write the message on the poster. And the teacher's like, hey, if you have to write your message out, perhaps your picture is not successful in conveying your message. I'll leave it at that.
This was a passion project that clearly there's a lot of passion in it and there's a lot of things trying to be said in it. Whether or not I understand the majority is yet to be decided. I'm still processing it all.
Francis, if you're watching, we actually thoroughly enjoyed this, and mad respect.
This movie made me feel a whole bunch, and for that I'm very grateful.